bienvenidos. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session, Culture of Generosity, celebrating 15 years of impact at Hispanic Access. My name is Martín Martinez. I'm the Development Engagement Specialist here at Hispanic Access Foundation. And with me, co-hosting today's wonderful session is one of my great colleagues, but not only colleagues, he's also mi jefe, my boss, and it's my pleasure to introduce Luke Arce Argobe. Luke, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Luke Arce, Chief Development Officer at Hispanic Access. We're honored to have you with us as we celebrate 15 years of impact and officially launch our Hispanic Access Culture of Generosity campaign, a movement that elevates Latino leadership and generosity across the nation. And a special welcome to our many donors and funding partners who have joined us today. We hope you enjoy today's program.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And again, we welcome every one of you for being here today. I have a couple of just housekeeping notes here to share with you. If you need interpretation, please click on the interpretation icon below, the little global icon where we have our wonderful Natalia Vázquez interpreting in Spanish. Si alguien ocupa interpretación el día de hoy, por favor, en el icono de globo que se encuentra en la parte de abajo, presiónale a ese botón para que nuestra increíble Natalia Vázquez pueda interpretar en español por ustedes. A little bit down in the program, we're also going to ask you to join us in the interpretation line for the English portion of that, because we have something wonderful planned today, especially for our people, as we love our gente. We love our people. So later on down the portion, I'm going to also invite you that speak English to join us in the Spanish to get a little taste of our interpretation and listen to the wonderful voice of Natalia to join us. Also, feel free on the chat to just tell us a little bit about yourself. I see a few of you are already posting where you're coming from. Regina from Salem, and then also in there for fun, let us know what kind of charities that you like to support. If you have a question for one of our panelists here today, please feel free to put it on the chat. Luke, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Martin. To open our program, we'll begin with our Hispanic Access brand film, Mejor Juntos, which captures the heart of our mission and the stories of leadership and transformation that define 15 years. Martin?
Roll the film!
You and I are like single threads woven into the same fabric. An interconnected tapestry of colors, textures, and strengths. We come from different places with stories as diverse as our individual lives, but together we form something better. Latinos have contributed to the flourishing of our nation in ways big and small. And still, we are often marginalized, misunderstood, and minimized within the American experience. Latinos aren't afforded the same educational opportunities as non-Hispanic whites, and the number of those living in poverty is nearly double that of non-Hispanic whites. I know firsthand the setbacks that these inequities can cause for Latinos. My family immigrated to the U.S. from Mexico when I was very young. They were able to become U.S. citizens, hold good jobs, improve our lives, and also give back to their community. I celebrate all that they accomplished, but I imagine how much more they could have achieved had they had access to trusted information and resources to guide them. Now, as founder of Hispanic Access Foundation, I draw from these experiences and countless others who dream of a bright future. My team and I work tirelessly to provide tools and resources so that Latinos can thrive in all areas of life. At Hispanic Access, we live out our mission and vision in 4 key ways. We build bridges of access to and from Latino communities. We develop Latino leaders so that we can move from the sidelines to the front lines to ensure that we have a central place in the American story. We cultivate trust-based relationships to inspire future generations of Latinos to reach for a brighter future. We elevate Latino voices to ensure equity and representation. By using our collective voices, we build a better America for all. There are countless stories, like Frank Ruiz, a program director for Audubon, California. With Hispanic Access, Frank advocated for 3 national monuments that have protected over 1.8 million acres of public lands for future generations. Josue Rubio is a graduate of our Hispanic Leadership Network. He was inspired to start his own nonprofit, Vida Foundation, which meets the food and security needs of local youth and helps inspire and train young leaders in the community. Yvette Lopez discovered a passion for connecting urban communities with nature and the outdoors during her internship with our Mono Project. Today, Yvette works as a park ranger for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, mentoring incoming interns, inspiring the next generation of conservation leaders. Linda Sosa was a graduate from our first Hispanic Leadership Network. She initiated a COVID vaccination program that's led to more than 34,000 Latinos getting vaccinated. Comunidad. It's the ultimate expression of what it means to be Latino in America, putting others before self so that all can thrive. Latinos are more than invisible threads in our society. We are an essential element in the fabric of American life. We are woven together, stronger together. We are better together. Somos mejores juntos.
Every time I watch this film, it just makes me go speechless. What a powerful and inspirational film. Feel free to go to our website and check out the incredible materials that we have there that also share to the power and testament of stories here in this video. What a perfect way to start this webinar. Luke, what do you think about that?
Yes, Martin, completely agreed. And for those joining us, I hope that this video inspired you just like it inspires us every time we see it. What you saw is more than a highlight reel about Hispanic access. It's the living legacy of Maite's experience being a Latina in the United States, culminating into our core values and our mission. At Hispanic Access, we are passionate about empowering Latino leaders to shape a thriving America. The way that we do this is by providing Latino community and faith leaders with access, capacity, and the belief that they can create big change in their own community. And now, it's an honor for me to introduce 2 individuals who have led the way in this movement in shaping thriving communities. Slide, please. Gracias. Please welcome Dr. Maite Arce, founder and CEO of Hispanic Access Foundation, and Alex Santillana and our board of directors. I'll start with bios. Maite is the president and CEO of Hispanic Access, which she founded in 2010 and grew from zero reach and zero budget into a national organization impacting 2.1 million people annually with a $10 million budget. Rooted in her family's immigrant story and guided by her faith, her family, and service, Maite leads with humility, integrity, and deep commitment to people. Her career spans community healthcare, education, Spanish language outreach, and environmental advocacy, and she's built a network of over 3,400 Latino community and faith leaders, reaching more than 2 million immigrants. Known for fostering long-term relationships and collaborative leadership, Maite has influenced major public policies and strengthened Latino leadership nationwide. In recognition of her contributions, Maite was awarded a PhD in 2021, an honoris causa in organizational leadership from Logos Christian University. Her accolades include the 2023 Women Leaders of Faith in the Frontline Award from the U.S. Department of Health, and in 2022, Environmental Leader Award from the Center for Rural Affairs, and the 2021 Eagle Award from the Asociación de Ministerios Evangélicos Nacional. Maite exemplifies a leader dedicated to the growth and empowerment of communities, making her an influential figure in both philanthropy and in professional spheres. Alex Santillana is one of our board of directors and the chair of the Advancement Committee. Alex was born in Puebla, Mexico, and learned the value of service at an early age. He has built a successful career in technology and in the business sectors, and recently retired after serving as a global infrastructure leader at Ralph Lauren. Throughout his career, he's worked with major corporations such as Volkswagen, Pfizer, Cadbury Schweppes, Accenture, Zimmer Biomed, and Microsoft, experiences that have shaped his professional and his leadership journey. Alex is deeply committed to giving back and serves as the executive sponsor for the Hispanic and Latino community resource group at Ralph Lauren, where he previously worked. And he helped introduce the company's first Hispanic nonprofit partner to its matching program. He's passionate about strengthening communities, mentoring young professionals, and creating environments where diversity and inclusion are valued. Outside of his professional and philanthropic work, Alex enjoys time with his family, exploring new cultures. He remains dedicated to making meaningful impact both in his career and in the community.
And now it's our pleasure, without further ado, to introduce you Maite and Alex Santillan. Maite, Alex, take it away.
Thank you so much, Martin and Luke. That was a wonderful introduction, and I'm so honored to share this space with you and with all of our that who's here today. We welcome all of you. And Alex, I've been looking forward to having this conversation with you. I know you have a few. We're going to ask each other a few questions and share some of our thoughts and stories with everyone who's here with us today. I'm looking forward to doing that.
Thank you. Thank you, Maite, and thank you, Luke and Martin, for putting this together. It's a great opportunity for me to have this conversation with Dr. Maite Arce. So what I would like to make a few questions and then share what you had done over the 15 years. 15 years sounds like a short period of time, but the number of impacts that you have done during those 15 years is tremendous. So, Maite, what do you define in terms of what is in the experience and defining moment where you said, I want to do this?
You know, Alex, when I looked around 15 years ago, it hit me hard because Latinos were already driving so much of America's culture, cultura, the economy, and the growth in this country. And we're on our way to being 1/3 of the country, and yet we keep running into the same walls. Almost no real representation, very little investment, way too many closed doors in the systems that decide who gets the opportunity. It just didn't feel fair to our community, and it's holding back the whole nation's future. And I grew up as the oldest kid of an immigrant household, always being the one who's translating, who's advocating, who's figuring things out for everybody else. And then I spent 15 years in the nonprofit world, serving families and communities just like mine. So when the chance came to start something that was truly for us and by us, I thought, okay, this is it. I need to step up.
Well, that's great. Understanding the needs firsthand is quite important. So what accomplishments make you the most proud?
Well, I think our biggest accomplishment and our biggest asset is our people, is our board of directors and our team and our community partners and the people we serve and our funding partners and donors. It's really the people who have helped us to make this possible because we have had so much impact in 15 years. And I believe it's really a collective effort of people who care about community and who are really leading with their hearts to serve our community. And of course, the partners, the partnerships are incredibly important to us as well. But I could talk for hours, and I did think of three things that keep coming back to me in terms of impact and what I could recall as in a wonderful story to share. And the first is about Oscar Hernandez, and maybe some of you will remember Oscar and know him personally. I met him when he was a young intern through our Mono project. We placed him as an intern in the Minnesota Valley National Wildlife Refuge. And now he's got a wonderful full-time job. He's a proud park ranger with a career path and a career that he's really passionate about. And he's also built an unbelievable community coalition that includes local government, federal agencies, nonprofits, Latino-owned small businesses. And every year they throw the most joyful Latino conservation celebrations you've ever seen, with música, with delicious food, with kids painting murals and learning in nature, and hundreds of families smiling ear to ear each year. And every time I see those videos of those activities, those events year after year, it just makes me tear up, because that one internship that Oscar didn't just change his life. It brought him full-time employment. It brought him economic stability. It's changing, and those stories are changing entire communities and creating careers that will outlive all of us. And so, but Oscar's story is just one piece of the mosaic. Across our faith leadership program, we've equipped 33 pastoral leaders every year, and that's more than 5,000 congregations that reach about 750,000 Latino immigrants in our nation, who now have pastoral leaders who are trained to turn faith into action on everything from mental health to disaster response. And that's just amazing. These are leaders who live and serve daily, and we're planting a small seed to strengthen that for them, so that we can do even more. We can reach even more people. And on the health side, we've directly served 140,000 people with cancer prevention education, cancer screenings, COVID vaccinations during COVID, mental health workshops and education, and real trusted Spanish language care that saves lives. And through financial empowerment and even tax education, another 37,000 people are keeping more of what they earn, building credit, starting businesses, breaking cycles of poverty. So if you add it all up, Alex, we have 800 young people like Oscar that have launched into conservation careers. And Latino Conservation Week is now in its 12th year with hundreds of partners nationwide. And we've broadened Latino engagement and support in the protection of over 4 million acres of public lands. And that's in addition to marine sanctuaries and coastal areas and protected waters. So thousands of families are healthier and wealthier because someone believed in them. And that's what 15 years looks like for us, as we do what we do best, which is to walk alongside the community and community leadership for the long haul, and watch them redesign the table, and not just sit at the table, but redesign that table. And honestly, that's the legacy that keeps me awake at night with the excitement for the next 15 years.
Wow, that sounds like three areas that really impacted the communities in not only in the short term, also in the long term, because at the end of the day, that's the vision, and moving to that vision is never easy. So what are the biggest challenges that you face during this process? And of course, it's not easy, but it's more challenging every single day across the Americas?
Very good question. Lots of challenges in the nonprofit sector, in the nonprofit world. And I'll have to excuse myself if I cough a little bit. But I would say one of the hardest parts of leading Hispanic Access this year was staying true to our mission when the ground shifted under us. This year was one of the toughest years, and Alex, for a decade, our Mono project has welcomed young people as interns and fellows of every background. But our real gift and our greatest results has in that program has been opening doors for Latinos and people of color in conservation. And when some in the federal government began labeling anything that lifts up underrepresented communities as DEI, our long-standing agreement with these federal agencies like Fish and Wildlife, National Park Service suddenly were not renewed. And because most of the funding for the Mono Project came from those federal partners, we faced a painful truth. We could not keep Mono going in its current form. So with lots of tears and incredibly heavy hearts, we made the decision to sunset the program at the end of this year and begin reimagining something new and stronger and diversified funding that no single policy shift can take away. And Alex, you may remember that our board member, Kara Vizcara, who started out as a mono intern herself, she put it perfectly for us. She said, "You have planted seeds in people like me, and those seeds are now trees with deep roots. And that legacy belongs to Hispanic Access forever." And change like this is brutal. It means looking after our team, honoring our community, protecting our mission, and guarding the organization's long-term health all at once. And that's the nonprofit life. But I'm proud that we're handling it with wisdom and corazón and with courage so that 15 years from now, we're still here and we're stronger, we're smarter, we're reaching more young people, and we're opening doors that no one can close.
Well, I love the way that you said planting seeds, because that's a very, very important factor for Latinos and leadership across America. So what would you ask those leaders and in terms of growing the impact and how to get to the place that we can make those trees bigger and greener?
Well, I think that for us, it's in our next chapter, the dream is simple, but it's bold, and it's the idea of continuing to cultivate Latino leaders and strengthen our communities in order to build a stronger nation, especially through conservation, economic opportunity, health equity, and leadership. We will continue to engage and equip and connect leaders from pastoral leaders to grassroots organizers to cultural influencers to everyday change makers so they can shift those policies, narratives, and investments in ways that lift up millions of Latino families. So I would say to our partners and to those amazing leaders who are change makers in their comunidades, I would say think big, because I envision that because of Hispanic Access is ours and yours, we can do anything. There is nothing that can get in the way of us achieving what we dream to achieve. And we can do it because we have each other, and juntos somos mejores. And so for us, by 2035, we want to walk alongside 10,000 of these leaders, including many who are here today, linked through 50 powerful regional networks and together influencing decisions that improve lives for 10 million Latinos across the country. So if you could imagine our leadership strength, if we are working in a trusted way with one another and across the country, it's really going to, we will be prepared to help lead this nation. And none of it can happen without you and our individual donors, our corporate sponsors, our foundation partners. And you are the ones who make it possible for us to do this work by the community, for the community, and at the speed of the scale that it deserves. Your support today quite literally accelerates tomorrow's impact. We are so thankful for you, and I'm very thankful for you, Alex. You are one of our donors, and of course, you've contributed so much of your time and wisdom and experience, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Maite. I think that sets a very, very strong bar for all of us as Latino leaders to really, really bring that to life. So thank you so much for sharing those with everybody.
Well, you're very welcome. And I have some questions for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Alex, as I mentioned, I'm so thankful that you serve on our board of directors and you have contributed so much. And I'm curious and would love for you to share with all of us what made you say yes when I first asked you to join the board of directors.
Well, let me just explain in two main reasons, right? One is the values and the vision was very clear, and that is not easy because saying one thing and having action to support it, that was one of the areas that I realized this is a great organization to have, to be connected and to be in support of. And I was one of those volunteers that joined to a conservation week. That's how I connected the dots and started getting, across the board, connected with the Hispanic Access Foundation, which I love, and of course was the first nonprofit organization for Hispanics for the matching program in my job site.
Yes, Ralph Lauren Company. That was very exciting, and we were so thankful for that, for your help in leading that partnership. From your vantage point, if you consider the entire Latino community over these last 15 years, what gives you the most hope? What's one change you've seen in our Latino community that brings you hope for the future?
The empowerment and leadership are the elements that we need more in the Latinos, and then more Latinos in decision-making roles is crucial because we need to influence those decisions, influence those, laws and organizations to be more inclusive as well. So I think that's pretty much empowerment and leadership.
And what's, in terms of your board service, what's been one of the toughest challenges that our board has faced together that you can recall, and how did you get through it?
So over the 2 years that I've been serving and helping the organization as well, I found the biggest challenge is when we had these last minute changes in certain programs that we had to make those decisions together and sit down with yourself and your leadership team to really and you use the term tears behind those conversations, but it was very, very crucial over the last year or so when we had to make those decisions together.
Yes, and I want to put in a plug that the board of directors has been essential in helping us to be guided in our risk mitigation, in our decision making, just providing us guidance that's been so valuable. And we're going to be doing an open recruitment for our board this next year. We did so a few years ago, and we're going to do an open recruitment. So I'd love for all of you to, once you receive that notice, to share. And we're excited to add a new slate of board members to our board this next year. And Alex, you've seen a lot of nonprofits and how they work, and you've experienced them. What do you think sets Hispanic Access Foundation apart?
I think is the authenticity of what you are saying and acting, very consistent on your values, and that sets very unique way of executing, because many nonprofit organizations, of course, um, have the different programs, but there is always like um, a part of it that is not really transparent to the communities. And seeing that impacting the communities is very, very unique.
Yes, thank you. And what advice would you give the next generation of Latino leaders who are watching today?
Um, well, that's a very good question. Um, I have young children, I would say, well, young adults in my family as well. And then giving these recommendations is always make sure you are proud of your heritage. Make sure you understand uh, that we together, we will be very strong task force in the communities, and then expand while you staying true to your values. I think it is very clear to celebrate your heritage and make it, stronger together.
I love that. Thank you so much. And just for fun, what advice would you give Maite in 2010 as on her first day of work?
Um, well, of course, this was a great idea in 2010. Um, but I would say just, you know, trust the process and enjoy the ride. I would say believe in yourself, trust the process and enjoy it, right? Because I think that's what you had done for the most programs that you had delivered, and enjoying these, work together with the team and the friends and relationships and partners, etc. Right?
That's wonderful advice, Alex. I think you're still giving us that advice now, and we love it. Well, I think that concludes our charla, and I will turn it over to you, Martin. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Maite. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Alex and Maite so much. Luke, take it away, my brother.
Yeah, Maite, Alex, just wow. What you shared reminds us of the corazón, the heart of our mission, which is our people and our shared stories, our individual stories, and our dreams, and the confidence that allows your leadership and our leadership to flourish in its fullest potential. For 15 years, Hispanic Access has walked alongside Latino communities and faith leaders, providing access, capacity, and the confidence that they need to create lasting change right where they are.
That's right. And today we want to hear directly from the people who embody the impact emerging leaders and the people that are leading this journey that reflect the heart of our mission. Today we want to shout out all of our staff members at Hispanic Access that provide Latino community and faith leaders with the access, the capacity, and the belief to create the big changes in our communities.
Yeah, but none of this would be possible without the help of great volunteers, the real heroes on the ground all across the country who are making this change possible. Like two incredible individuals that we're going to meet next. Alexandra Carrasquillo and Santini and Cesar de Paz will share how Hispanic Access has transformed their lives and strengthened a culture of generosity and leadership within their own communities.
That's right, Luke. Alexandra Santini Carrasquillo es un líder pastoral y académica dedicada a la formación teológica y el acompañamiento espiritual. Cuenta con una licenciatura y cuidado pastoral en Asbury Theological Seminary. She has a Master's in Divinity. También con especialización en cuidado pastoral de Wesley Seminary, donde además se desempeña como coordinadora de misiones del programa hispano, apoyando a cientos de estudiantes y fortaleciendo alianzas académicas. Con más de 14 años de ministerio pastoral en One Family Church en Orlando, Florida. Alexandra se especializa en restauración familiar y salud mental y acompañamiento emocional y espiritual. Y el pastor César de Paz está apasionado en abogar por los líderes en desarrollo, dedicando su mentoría, su entrenamiento a líderes que están sobresaliendo. Él actualmente es el pastor de la iglesia hispana de la comunidad de Boston, Massachusetts, donde sirve a una congregación diversa, especializando en las prácticas y aplicaciones a la comunidad y alcances en la gran ciudad de Boston. Y más que nada, queremos invitarlos ahora a ustedes. We want to invite you to join us in the interpretation line in English. So we want you to hit the English icon below so you can be able to hear this in English as our next portion is going to be in Spanish. So hit the global icon, hit the Spanish, and you'll be able to hear our wonderful Natalia interpret all of this in English for you. Y sin más preámbulos, queremos invitar a César y Alexandra a la plataforma. Take it away.
Saludos, saludos, muy buenas
Hola, hola.
tardes. Es un gusto. Es un gusto estar hoy aquí celebrando 15 años. Es para nosotros los hispanos, para las damas, ¿verdad? Los 15 años es emocionante. Nosotras soñamos con los 15 años. Y escuchar la historia de Maite, Alex, la visión, el amor, el legado, nos entusiasma y nos anima. Saludos, Pastor César. Gracias también por estar aquí hoy. Eh, Quería, en esta maravillosa tarde, es un gusto reencontrarnos después del retiro que tuvimos a través de Hispanic Access, donde estuvimos celebrando como familia con otros líderes y hoy estamos celebrando este tiempo, contando historias y hablando un poco de lo que por gracia hemos recibido durante este tiempo de esta organización que se ha robado nuestros corazones. Eh, Quisiera hoy conversar nuestro diálogo entendiendo y conociendo un poquito del pastor César de Paz. Cuéntanos un poco de ti y cómo es ese recorrido personal te formó como líder que eres hoy. ¿Cuáles han sido tus experiencias en este tiempo con Hispanic Access?
Muchas gracias, Alexandra, y muchas gracias a todas las personas acá. Y felicidades al equipo de Hispanic Access, doctora Maite, muchas felicidades. Imagino que estos 15 años no han sido fáciles, han habido muchos retos, pero qué bueno que a pesar de la adversidad, a pesar de las dificultades, aquí está adelante y muchas gracias por todo lo que hace, no solamente por mí, por mi ministerio, sino por toda nuestra comunidad hispana. Así que ánimo y adelante. Felicidades en estos 15 años. Y bueno, Alexandra, hay mucho que pudiéramos decir, pero rápidamente, yo nací en Guatemala, crecí en Costa Rica, casado con una mujer extraordinaria de Colombia, así que cuando hablamos de diversidad o de la cultura, pues en mi familia tenemos de todo. Ciertamente, yo nací en un hogar cristiano, mis padres fueron pastores, así que yo sé lo que es estar en lo que es el servicio a la comunidad y el ministerio desde pequeño, pero confieso algo, yo nunca quise ser pastor. Yo sabía que realmente eh, el liderazgo tiene muchos retos, y hay muchos obstáculos que hay que enfrentar. Y aunque yo había estudiado y había estado sirviendo en diferentes áreas en el ministerio a través de los años, y no quería, pero bueno, los planes de Dios siempre son los que se llevan a cabo. Y bueno, hace alrededor de unos 10 años que empecé a trabajar como pastor y líder acá en nuestra ciudad de Boston. Pero algo que me atrajo a la red de liderazgo y a Hispanic Access es que aunque el ministerio y el pastorado me ha ofrecido oportunidades y experiencias extraordinarias, el liderazgo es agotador. El liderazgo muchas veces es algo que lo lleva a uno a estar aislado o se experimenta mucha soledad. Y es curioso cómo, a pesar de que somos líderes y estamos rodeados de personas constantemente, muchas veces nos sentimos solos. Hace unos años que yo empecé a experimentar este desgaste y esta soledad, esta también hambre de querer más y servir más a la comunidad. Y estuve buscando en diferentes redes locales el cómo poder trabajar mejor, pero no pude conectar bien. Y fue hasta que encontré Hispanic Access, encontré la red de liderazgo, que pude encontrar más que apoyo técnico, más que recursos, pude encontrar realmente un grupo de personas y una red que me ofrecía amistad, que entendía mi caminar como hispano y como líder. Y todavía, gracias a Hispanic Access, es que he podido establecer, conectar con personas maravillosas, he podido aprender y he podido realmente eh, aprender mucho para beneficiar a mi iglesia y a mi comunidad.
Qué bueno, me gusta escuchar las historias porque el pasado, el comprender la travesía nos ayuda a entender el futuro y tu historia es el común de muchos de los líderes que nos están escuchando. ¿Cómo llegas a Hispanic Access? ¿Cómo conoces de lo que ofrecía la organización?
Bueno, primeramente, como dije, estaba buscando un grupo de personas, conexiones, líderes de las cuales aprender y en las cuales encontrar apoyo. Así fue como encontré a Hispanic Access y la red de liderazgo. Al unirme a ella, a los cohorts, que son grupos en donde líderes y pastores se conectan para aprender, para recibir capacitación, entrenamiento, pero sobre todo conectar con otras personas. Recuerdo muy bien que en este primer grupo no solamente nos reuníamos virtualmente, sino que también nos reunimos presencialmente. Y el conocer a las personas en persona fue extraordinario, conecté mucho. Pero hubo algo que me acercó mucho a la red. Hubo algo que realmente me ha hecho ser parte y querer involucrarme más en esta red. Y es que he visto cómo Hispanic Access no es solo una organización más que quiere cumplir con una misión o una meta. No, yo veo ciertamente, lo digo de corazón, un interés genuino por cada uno de nosotros, por nuestra comunidad hispana. Algo que a mí me ha impactado mucho y lo cual estoy muy agradecida es ver cómo nuestra presidenta, nuestra CEO, cuando hablamos de CEOs o presidentes, son personas en un nivel tan alto que se desconectan con la gente. Pero veo a la doctora Maite no solamente una CEO, sino una persona que realmente se interesa por mí. Cuando comento algo en las redes sociales, una foto de mi ministerio o de mi familia, ella está ahí, ella conecta, ella disfruta, se alegra y eso me ha hecho sentir de que yo no soy un número más, de que
Ujú.
no soy un miembro solamente de un grupo, soy parte de un cuerpo. He aprendido y entendido que somos mejores juntos. Y Hispanic Access me ha hecho darme cuenta de que hay mucho trabajo que hacer y que juntos podemos lograr alcanzar muchísimo más.
Qué bueno, y que el equipo es reflejo de lo
Mm,
que es la doctora Maite, porque
mm,
todos ellos también acompañan y son parte de nuestros procesos. Así que
mm.
gracias por compartir, porque es muy cierto. Y por último, la pregunta que te quiero hacer es, cada cual ha sido, ¿verdad? Ha tenido momentos significativos en los que su liderazgo ha tenido impacto. ¿Qué cambios generó real en tu ministerio, en tu liderazgo, inclusive en tu vida personal, el proceso que has tenido con Hispanic Access, la educación, el acompañamiento? ¿Cuál ha sido el impacto más significativo que sientes que ha generado este tiempo?
Alexandra, esta pregunta la tenía, ¿verdad? Hacía días y ha sido difícil encontrar un momento. Es que son muchos. Hispanic Access, la red de liderazgo por la creación, en fin, cada una de las áreas en la que Hispanic Access trabaja ha sido de mucho beneficio para mí mi familia y mi ministerio y también mi comunidad. Por ejemplo, cuando hablamos de por la creación, yo como pastor me limitaba mucho a hacer actividades en la iglesia y, bueno, en la comunidad. Pero por la creación me ayudó realmente a recordar y entender de que somos llamados a administrar, cuidar el medio ambiente, la creación de Dios. Y esto me ofreció también las oportunidades para llevar a nuestros niños y jóvenes a tener experiencias en la naturaleza. Aquí estamos en Boston, ahí está el mar, hay muchas islas y por la creación y Hispanic Access nos brindaron los recursos para poder llevar a niños y jóvenes que nunca habían estado en un barco, por ejemplo, a estas islas. Y estando ahí fue una experiencia maravillosa. Hablamos de la creación de Dios y de la importancia de cuidar y velar por el medio ambiente. Han sido muchísimas las experiencias. La red de liderazgo me ha perdido conectar con otros pastores, sentir que no estoy solo, aprender de ellos. Y eso ha sido extraordinario. Como dije al principio, en momentos en donde me sentía solo y desgastado, a través de la red de liderazgo, he renovado mis fuerzas, mi energía y veo que hay más, hay mucho trabajo que hacer y me siento muy, muy entusiasmado. Mucho más, Alexandra. Yo pudiera hablar muchísimo más, pero bueno, el tiempo es corto.
Sí, te entiendo que estamos muy agradecidos con la organización y nuestro corazón rebosa de aprendizaje y de lo que ha significado este tiempo con Hispanic Access en las diferentes procesos, ¿verdad? Yo he estado en iglesias sanas, en el grupo de liderazgo, en el cohorte y de verdad ha sido muy significativo para mí, para mi ministerio. ¿Sí?
Sí. Pues bueno, es que hay mucho, mucho que ofrece, realmente que nos ayuda. Pero Alexandra, yo pudiera hablar y contar mucho, pero me gustaría que también usted pueda compartir algo. Yo sé que ya nos hemos conocido no solamente virtualmente, sino también en persona. No solamente he escuchado mucho de usted, sino hasta la escuché cantar. Lo hace muy bien en una de nuestras reuniones. Pero cuéntenos, Alexandra, ¿cómo usted llegó a conocer de Hispanic Access y qué le llamó la atención para ser parte de este grupo?
Bueno, definitivamente mi conexión empieza a través de cómo somos nosotros los hispanos. El pastor Joel Rodríguez, él es parte de la organización wesleyana y él siempre está promoviendo oportunidades y desarrollo y crecimientos para los ministros de la organización. Y es interesante porque eso somos nosotros. Nosotros nos gusta comunicar las nuevas buenas y cuando hay algo bueno nos llamamos unos a otros. E intencionalmente leí un poco sobre Hispanic Access y me llamó la atención. A veces comentaba que muchas veces uno conoce muchas organizaciones, pero pocas realmente te invitan a tener un acompañamiento, una renovación, una mentoría, a educarte de una forma holística, donde puedan cubrir áreas que realmente estén requiriéndose para la parte ministerial, pero no nada más el ministerio, sino la parte física y emocional.
Ujú.
Entonces, todo ese andamiaje que tenía Hispanic Access me llamó la atención y ha sido una grande bendición en mi vida y en mi ministerio, dándome la plataforma para servir a una escala mayor, a renovarme en algunas áreas donde me sentía como tú, agotada, cansada, quizás hasta desmotivada, y poder tener un espacio seguro, como ellos ofrecieron me uní y se convirtió en un lugar de servicio y de llamado para mí. Ujú.
Algo bueno, Alexandra, es que Hispanic Access no solamente informa o presenta material, sino que realmente nos acompaña en todo este proceso. Hispanic Access está ahí ofreciendo los recursos y ayudándonos en nuestro caminar. Y yo sé que usted ha sido partícipe de varios recursos que ofrecen y cómo esto nos ayuda realmente a fortalecer el ministerio y transformar nuestra comunidad. Entonces, Alexandra, ¿cómo estos programas pueden ayudarle no solamente a usted, sino a otros pastores a realmente beneficiar la comunidad?
Bien, tú lo decías, o sea, definitivamente el beneficio que nos está dando la organización es tener un espacio primeramente seguro donde vienen profesionales que conocen de temas que para nosotros son relevantes. Una de las características que encontré es que cada uno de los panelistas, conferencistas, trajeron no nada más un tema, sino trajeron su corazón, sus experiencias, sus testimonios, lo cual nos ayuda a conectar con la organización y con lo que estamos aprendiendo. No nos sentimos lejos de lo que están enseñando, como puede llegar a suceder en momentos donde te sientes separado del aprendizaje. Aquí estás conectado con pastores, líderes, ministros que han pasado y son vulnerables y se abren en sus propias experiencias. Para mí eso fue muy significativo. También me ayudó en el acompañamiento con otros pastores, como bien tú lo dijiste, con otros líderes, donde podríamos hablar de una forma abierta y segura de los desafíos que estamos teniendo actualmente, Estados Unidos, Latinoamérica, pero más Estados Unidos, que es donde nosotros estamos. Hay un sinnúmero de desafíos que estamos teniendo como líderes a nivel de comunicación, de gobiernos, sociales, tantas cosas. Entonces, puede ser abrumante, pero también al mismo tiempo es gratificante tener lugares donde te ayuden a tener las herramientas y al mismo tiempo poder compartir con otros que están pasando lo mismo. Entonces, creo que hay una serie de elementos, como bien tú lo dices, pudiéramos estar nosotros muchas horas compartiendo tantas bendiciones, pero la verdad, en resumen, para mí, nosotros debemos continuar invirtiendo en líderes a través de iniciativas de Hispanic Access en su formación, en su desarrollo, en su potencial. Estamos, ¿verdad?, buscando de que entendamos que nosotros tenemos que ser parte de esto. Y ser parte de la organización no es nada más orar por ella, sino ser intencionales en dar. Y es parte de lo que hoy estamos promoviendo, porque sí, muchos como tú y yo hemos sido beneficiados, pero cómo nosotros también podemos ser parte de la solución, cómo también podemos ser agradecidos, porque si algo caracteriza al latino y al hispano es que somos agradecidos. Y cuando hemos recibido gracia, queremos dar gracia.
Gracias, gracias Alexandra. Hay mucho, mucho de lo que podemos decir y algo, y cierro con esto ya antes de pasarlo a Martín. Hispanic Access realmente no solo ofrece, Hispanic Access invierte en nosotros y en nuestras comunidades. Así como dice Alexandra, les invitamos a todos a ser parte de esta red, a conocerla más, porque es una organización que tiene en el corazón el beneficio de cada una de nuestras familias y comunidades hispanas. Muchísimas gracias por este tiempo. Gracias por esta oportunidad, Alexandra. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos, gracias por la oportunidad, al equipo y los dejamos con Martín porque tenemos una video para esta parte.
Sí, vamos a mandarles el video en un email que queremos compartir este video como un regalo por estar con nosotros el día de hoy. Y queremos invitarlos a que regresen a la línea regular de audio para cerrar juntos en la línea regular de audio y esta línea continuará siendo línea en español. Luke, once again, thank you, Cesar. Thank you, Alexandra. We wanna thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. But Luke, I have a question for you, my brother, before we close. For those that are watching right now that may be new to Hispanic Access, that just came on, what makes this mission so unique? And why is now the perfect time to give?
Thank you, Martin. That's a great question, and it starts with in 15 years we've cultivated this network of 3,400 community and faith leaders, serving communities from Alaska to Puerto Rico, every state in between. We believe that cultivating Latino leadership directly strengthens communities and it advances America's future. We built trust not just through our work, but also how we do that work. And it's with transparency, accountability, and real results. The Hispanic Leadership Network, for example, has graduated 133 leaders. Maite had shared that. Well, 30 of those community members are now certified as mental health first aid responders. They're equipped to recognize and respond to the growing mental health crisis in our community. Their training matters because trusted local leaders are often the front line and the first line of support in our communities, in Latino communities, where stigma, limited access, and cultural barriers frequently prevent families from seeking help. Another great example is we've empowered local Latino leaders to expand access to life-saving healthcare, bringing culturally trusted support directly into communities through their leadership, the leadership of our local leaders. Families have received essential screenings and vaccinations they might otherwise have gone without, ensuring that they can stay healthy and that they thrive. And in total, these efforts have reached nearly 100,000 people, demonstrating the transformative power of investing in community-driven care. Another great example I love to share often is we strengthen community-led efforts to protect the places that sustain us, advancing campaigns that have preserved 3.9 million acres of land and waters vital to our culture, to recreation, and to future generations. And at the same time, Latino Conservation Week has grown from 9 events in 2014 when it started to more than 260 this year, expanding access to the outdoors and uplifting an authentic narrative that Latinos deeply care for land and water that sustain us and are also leading those efforts to protect them. We've been opening doors for young people in Central Florida to pursue meaningful STEM careers, and this is through a Pathways program, which helps students envision themselves in fields where their perspective matters. It's supporting more than 70 emerging leaders. And this is in Orlando. It's very exciting work. But, Martin and those watching, did you know that by 2060, Latinos will be 1 in 3 people in the United States? The future is undeniably Latino. By investing in Latino leaders now, we advance a thriving America that lifts all people. Now, by 2036, Hispanic Access will equip and connect 10,000 leaders across 50 regional networks to collectively influence policies, narratives, and investments that impact 10 million lives. Martin.
That is incredible, Luke, and thank you for sharing this incredible impact that Hispanic is doing. I also have a question for Maite. It's what is our year-end goal in one of our last campaigns of the year? Maite, would you be so kind to share with us what our targeted goal for this year is?
Yes, Martin, it's $25,000 that we're looking to raise in our individual donor campaign for the end of the year. And it's very interesting because this year has been the year of the most growth that we have seen in individual donors. Our comunidad has really contributed, and our team and our board, everyone has stepped in to give whatever they're able to give, and many have become part of our monthly donors program called Elevación, and others have just given like their end of year donation. And what this does for us is very important because it to me personally, it's every single one of those donations, we get the notice of that gift, and it just gives us so much encouragement and motivation to keep going forward. And so to us, it's almost like a regular thank you that we receive from La Comunidad. And it's very important to us because we're in this together and we want to continue to be flexible and have the freedom to have you lead the wonderful work in our communities.
Thank you so much, Maite, for sharing our incredible goal. And now we want to give you, our viewers, an opportunity to be able to participate in this great goal that we have. So go ahead and click the icon on the screen that we have here. And Luke, I'm going to go ahead and ask Maite to kick us off with a thank you for joining us in this webinar today. And Maite, I want to give the platform to you to thank all of our guests that have joined us today and being part of this incredible journey of giving. Cultura de generosidad, culture of generosity. Maite, why don't you go ahead and send us off?
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. You have no idea how much it means to us. Muchas gracias, Alejandra y César, por esas palabras tan hermosas. We really appreciate all of you and how much you care for us and for our comunidad. Thank you for joining us today and celebrating 15 years of wonderful work and Hispanic Access Foundation.
Thank you so much. Bye.
And remember, everybody, we are better together. Somos mejores juntos.
El link están en la parte del chat. The links are to our giving page are on the chat. So we can't wait to celebrate you.
Thank you, Maite. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Cesar. Thank you, Alejandra.
Thank you, Luke.